This podcast is sponsored by ScienceBasedLearning.com. Discover your passion for languages with our innovative ebook, audiobook, and video system. Maximize retention using spaced repetition. Start your journey today.
Translation and cross-cultural communication in education for adult language learners. Explore how the translation and cross-cultural communication improve adult language learning and enhance education with practical strategies and science-backed tools. Translation and cross-cultural communication in education. In today's increasingly globalized world, education no longer happens in isolation. Whether you're a student learning a new language or an educator working with a diverse classroom, translation and cross-cultural communication play a crucial role in bridging gaps and fostering understanding. As a language expert, I see these two intertwined facets shaping how knowledge is shared, how language acquisition works, and how cultural nuances influence effective learning. The role of translation in education. Translation isn't just about converting words from one language to another. It's about preserving meaning, tone, and cultural context. In educational settings, translation can serve different purposes. Access to materials. Educational resources often originate in dominant languages like English, Mandarin, or Spanish. Translating resources into various languages allows learners from different backgrounds to engage with the content effectively. Supporting multilingual students. For adult language learners or students learning in a second language, translations can clarify complex concepts, allowing for deeper comprehensibility before transitioning fully into the target language. Facilitating communication between teachers and students. In classrooms with mixed language backgrounds, translation can help overcome language barriers, ensuring important information and instructions are clearly understood. However, raw or literal translations often miss the subtle cultural elements that affect comprehension. Effective translation in education requires an understanding of cultural context to avoid misunderstandings or misinterpretation. For example, idiomatic expressions or culturally bound terms may not translate directly and need adaptation. Cross-cultural communication more than language. Cross-cultural communication involves not only language but also understanding the cultural frameworks learners bring with them. Culture shapes values, learning styles, body language, and expectations in classrooms. Here are some key aspects. And context and communication style. Some cultures communicate more directly, while others use indirect or high-context communication styles. This affects how instructions are perceived and how dialogue unfolds during lessons. Nonverbal cues, gestures, eye contact, and personal space differ significantly across cultures, influencing classroom interactions. Perceptions of authority and participation. Some cultural backgrounds may emphasize respect for authority, resulting in quieter classroom behavior, while others encourage debate and open questioning. By acknowledging these differences, educators and language learners can create more inclusive environments that value diverse perspectives and learning approaches. This sensitivity builds trust and improves language learning outcomes. How translation and cross-cultural communication enhance language learning. Understanding these concepts is particularly important for adult language learning. Adult learners bring years of cultural experience and linguistic knowledge that influence how they learn a new language. Here's how translation and cross-cultural understanding help. Clarifying complex ideas and grammar. Translation can break down difficult grammatical structures or new vocabulary into familiar terms. Contextualizing language in real-world settings. Cross-cultural communication skills help learners use language appropriately in social and professional contexts. Motivating learners. Through relevance, properly contextualized content makes language learning more engaging and personally meaningful. When adult language learners understand not just the words but the cultural nuances, they acquire language in a more natural, effective way that goes beyond rote memorization. Applying the science of language learning. Language acquisition in adult learners benefits immensely from structured, science-backed approaches. The science behind how we learn a language, especially concepts like spaced repetition, plays into how translation and cross-cultural communication should be applied. A resource worth mentioning is ScienceBasedLearning.com, which offers a simple ebook, audiobook, and video language learning system combined with an innovative online practice app. This system uses the science behind spaced repetition to maximize your learning and retention, making it perfect for adult language learners seeking efficient and lasting results. Tips for adult learners on using translation and culture effectively. Use translation as a tool, not a crutch. Employ translation to understand difficult concepts, but gradually shift towards thinking directly in the target language. Immerse yourself in the culture. Engage with media, traditions, and real-life conversations related to your language of study to internalize cultural context. Discover how writing communities can amplify your author marketing efforts and increase book sales with proven strategies for self-published authors. Leverage technology. Use apps and systems like the sciencebaselearning.com platform that incorporate repetition and cultural content into their methods. With these strategies, language learning becomes more than memorizing vocabulary. It evolves into a full-bodied experience connecting you to people and their stories worldwide. Conclusion. Translation and cross-cultural communication are indispensable components of effective education and successful language acquisition. Especially for adults learning a new language, embracing both helps you overcome barriers and deepen your understanding not only of the language but of the diverse world the language connects you to. If you want a methodical and scientifically backed approach to language learning that respects both language structure and cultural richness, check out sciencebaselearning.com. Their combined ebook, audiobook, video system, and practice app use proven techniques to help you learn faster and retain more, making your language journey both efficient and rewarding.